Okay, before we dive into the real topic today, let's do a little recap of the past few episodes so we're all on the same page. First, we kick things off by looking at why humans act the way they do. Spoiler, we're messy, contradictory, and predictably unpredictable. Then, we got a little deeper into the patterns and triggers, so at least now you know kind of why people suck. Or at least why they make sense to themselves. Then we got brutally honest about dating, your unrealistic expectations, and how your no-no squares sometimes make bad decisions for you. Next, we talked about why humans go to extremes, because minor inconveniences can literally send your brain into DEFCON 1. Then we followed that by breaking down why your brain edits, rewrites, and occasionally fabricates the past. And finally, why your brain turns scarcity, social comparison, and viral trends into full-blown panic mode. So now that we've covered the human chaos, irrational fears, memory, lies, and our general incompetence, it's time to talk about a way to actually train your brain to chill the hell out a little. Enter cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which up until now I thought stood for torture. And it turns out I am wrong and I need my own therapist. CBT is basically a system for noticing your brain's lies, rewiring destructive patterns, and taking the, oh no, my brain is panicking again, panic out of everyday life. But before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe. Then comment below on what weird brain or behavior topics you want me to break down next. So, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is basically a way to hack your brain. It's like giving your lizard brain a set of operating instructions so it stops freaking out over every little thing. So let's talk about it. Number 1, the basics. CBT is a type of psychotherapy that focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors. The core idea? Your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all connected. If you can change one, you can influence the others. Research shows CBT is highly effective for anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, and even stress management. Number 2, how it works. First, you notice when your brain is lying to you. Example, everyone is judging me. Ask yourself, is that really true? Next, you question it. Gather evidence. Ask, do I have proof this is actually happening? Finally, you adjust how you respond. Instead of panicking, procrastinating, or lashing out, you make a choice grounded in reality. Number 3, the humor of CBT. It's like being your own sarcastic life coach. Cool, brain. Thanks for the panic. But let's not throw ourselves off a cliff today. And yes, it takes practice. Your brain will push back, but over time, it gets easier to spot the lies and stop reacting like every email is a nuclear threat. Multiple meta-analyses confirm CBT not only reduces symptoms, but also teaches long-term coping strategies that stick. Alright, now that we know what CBT is and how it rewires your brain, let's talk about some practical CBT techniques that you can actually use in your daily life. You know, without paying hundreds of dollars or signing up for a full therapy program. So now that we know CBT is basically a brain hacking life coach, let's get into some techniques you can actually use without booking an appointment, handing over your soul, or selling your kidney. Number 1, thought records. Write down negative thoughts when they pop up. Example, I'm terrible at my job. Ask, what's the evidence for this? What's the evidence against it? Then replace it with a more balanced thought. I made a mistake, but I also solved 3 problems today. Daily thought recording reduces cognitive distortions and improves mood. Number 2, behavioral experiment. Test your anxious or catastrophic predictions. Example, if I speak up in a meeting, everyone will think I'm stupid. Try it. See what actually happens. And gather real data instead of letting your brain make stuff up. Number 3, cognitive restructuring. Identify all or nothing thinking. catastrophizing, or overgeneralizing. Replace it with realistic alternatives. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Or one mistake doesn't mean a total failure. Number 4, exposure therapy light. Gradually face fears instead of running away. Example. If you panic at a social gathering, start with a coffee with a friend, then a smaller group, then a bigger event. This reduces amygdala overreaction over time and teaches your brain, I survived, I'm fine. Number 5, mindfulness plus grounding. Pair CBT with mindfulness to notice when your brain is lying without buying into the panic. Techniques like 5-4-3-2-1 grounding or controlled breathing can calm the fight or flight response. Basically, CBT is teaching your brain to stop being dramatic. It's like saying, cool story, brain, thanks for the panic, but I've got this. You don't get to run my life today. Alright, before we wrap this up and I go full brutally honest takeaway, let me hit you with the adult version of this episode. These CBT tips, they're not a replacement for therapy. Therapy is where the real work happens, where trained professionals help you untangle patterns that have been building for decades. Shout out and mad respect to everyone out there who answered the call to carry other people's pain, even when they may not always have the capacity to carry their own. That is hard, humbling, and heroic work. If you've been on the fence about getting a therapist, stop waiting. Your brain is chaotic. Your lizard instincts are loud, and honestly, talking to a pro can save you years of unnecessary panic, self-doubt, and impulsive decisions. And while we're talking about shoutouts, special shout out to my best friend, Dr. Laura Ellick, who has spent decades in the field and is a powerhouse with CBT. She's the kind of therapist who helps your brain stop lying to you and start actually being helpful. She's also the kind of therapist your therapist wished they had. But seriously, if you haven't already, get a therapist. Even one session can help you start untangling the mess your brain makes for fun. Alright, now that we've given CBT its proper respect, let's end this episode with a brutally honest takeaway about why it works, why it matters, and why you deserve a brain that actually plays nice. Here's the brutal truth. Your brain lies, panics, and loves chaos. Cognitive behavioral therapy isn't a magic wand, but it is the closest thing to giving your brain a user manual. It teaches you to notice the lies, challenge distorted thoughts, and choose how you respond instead of letting every panic, memory lie, or FOMO spiral run your life. The tips we covered today can help you start that process on your own, but they're just the appetizer. Real therapy with someone trained like my friend Dr. Laura Ellick, who has spent decades mastering CBT, is where the main course happens. Respect those professionals who do the hard work of carrying others' mental weight while keeping their own lives together. So take this as your permission slip to 1. Notice your brain lying. 2. Challenge the panic. 3. Step back before reacting. 4. And if you can, get a therapist. CBT works because it combines science, awareness, and action. And yes, it can make your brain stop being a chaotic mess, or at least teach it how to panic like a slightly more polite adult. Until next time, do you, but do it with love and affection. I'm Kyle Fields. Take care.